We're back, people, and today we're going to film on Ollie Gordon, Miami Dolphins 6th-round rookie in his first preseason action versus the Bears here. Had a really strong opening debut, made a lot of big plays, and even some of the plays that weren't as big, I think, showed off some impressive traits that he can work with. I'm a fan of Ollie Gordon. I think, there was the unfortunate Alexander Mattison injury, but I think you can tell with, the running backs the Dolphins added, they feel pretty confident with Gordon being, that number 3 guy, potential short yardage. There's just some things that he does really, really well, made a big play as a receiver in, a 4th down situation, really reliable, hands catcher, ran some decent routes, and even on, the not big runs, I thought he was really decisive and just got downhill, hit the hole, showed pretty solid vision as well, and, those are things that can translate, even though you're playing preseason defenders, being decisive and making quick decisions, based off blocks, is, something that will translate to the regular season. If he keeps it up, I thought his footwork was pretty clean. Overall, liked what I saw from the kid. Want to see that continue. I think, for a 6th-rounder, and now with the Mattison injury, I was thinking he was probably someone that wasn't going to see too much playing time early on. I think with the Mattison injury, he's going to get a part of that rotation pretty early and, not get a ton of touches, but get touches in, high-value situations, those short yardage stuff. But there's a lot to like. Here on some outside zone, so this is something he's got to be able to do in the Dolphins system. Breaking a tackle, showing off that contact balance. It's actually crazy him wearing 31. He does kind of look like Mostert because Mostert also kind of played with that high pad level. Gordon's bigger, but they do kind of stand and move the same. Mostert's smaller, faster, but they kind of run in similar ways. It's kind of weird looking at him. But here the outside zone with the sifting tight end. Got to be able to read and man the line of scrimmage down, so he instantly recognizes this edge. He pretty much already sees how this guy sets the edge, and he doesn't even have the ball yet, and he's already got his eyes going to 96. Recognize the leverage, read these blocks, stick that foot in the ground, see that this hat is on this hat, and you're working off the back of Daniels there. He's able to get skinny, get through this hole, stay on his feet, show great core strength and contact balance, get up, and then just continue downhill. Also trying to finish runs to drop shoulders into a DB once he's, realized he's not going to pick up anything extra crazy there, but just really solid run. I think just from a processing perspective, he made the right read, stuck that foot in the ground and got downhill and then showed off his physical and athletic capabilities. And that was his first touch of his career, which is a nice sign. Then you get this. This was the 3rd down. So the next play is the 4th down. This is the 3rd down. They try to get him running the angle route on the linebacker. It doesn't end up working, doesn't run it super cleanly. Guy able to shield hit. Also could maybe argue this guy is kind of behind him, but it doesn't end up working out. But he's able to respond. They do the little motion out, he's motioning out pre-snap. Give him a little more space, momentum to work with. And now he's able to beat this linebacker, 43 right there. Run a pretty good route. Love how he sets up this angle. By him working to the outside here, it gets this guy to overcommit. Now he gets inside leverage, stick that outside foot in the ground, stab, break across face, and then make a nice catch in between 2 defenders, prepare to take a big hit, stays on his feet, continues to go, and look where he gets contacted. So he catches this ball, 43, kind of starts to wrap him up around that 48 area, and he carries him to the 40, and then also another player has to hit him to really completely stop his momentum. He's a very reliable hands catcher. There was one play he probably had back in this game that you'll see later on that he probably wants to hang on to that ball. It was a tough situation, but overall he's been very reliable. He didn't really drop the ball in college. Just another sort of underrated part of his game for a bigger back. I love when bigger backs can, be involved as receivers. It's when smaller backs are tougher and break more tackles than you expect. Gordon's kind of got that part of that game down. Dolphins also ran some gap scheme stuff where they were running pulling guards. Typically on this, where they're down blocking, 65 down block, 68 down block, 75, go to cut off the linebacker. Usually he'll work off the back and try to follow 68, but he instantly recognizes with how this is going. I kind of like this. Sometimes you want to follow your blocks. He does it in another situation that is nice. But sometimes you have to go a little bit off script, especially in some gap scheme stuff. To just, once you make that first read, go. He sticks that foot in the ground and feels this backside there, and he ends up, maximizing his gain to pick up, around 4 or 5, which is totally fine. I just love how decisive he is. I like the lower body. He's opening up the hips right there. and he's just getting downhill, not wasting time. Those are the types of plays you want to see out of a potential short yardage back, because that's probably where most of his value will come in year one. 6th rounder, probably won't see a ton of playing time outside of that unless like injuries happen, but that's pretty nice. And then here's like the short yardage. He had a couple attempts, didn't get it on the first, but you could tell he was still being like he was running hard. He wasn't, wasting any time here. He jumps over the pile, get into the end zone. You'll see it from the end zone view. Good job creating up front, and he just realizes in this situation, like a couple bears are on the ground. He's just gonna go high. This is where like sometimes you got to go high in these situations, because if he does stay like on his feet, they can hit him up top and down low at the same time. That's how you really get your momentum stopped at the red end zone. Like he could potentially get in, but going up like this, you're getting in unless you fumble it. So just making good decisions. Outside zone, another example. Where I think for the most part, like he understands his reading enemy line of scrimmage down. This guy sets the edge. He's on that. Boom, stick that foot in the ground. Maybe he could have done that a little bit quicker, but he's able to press, stay tight. Maybe, tries to work back to 65, gets a little tough, but I do like how he grinds out the extra yardage. So kind of gets contacted around the 40 right there. He's able to fall forward for an extra 2.5, 3 yards in this situation. And another sort of like, yeah, it's a small gain, but sometimes you're looking for the little things of being able to drive a pile, falling forward for extra yards, because it all ends up adding up at the end of the day. Hidden yardages like that are huge. Here's another example where, like, hey, he does work off the back of the puller this time. So you see the right guard pulling. He's basically working off this, running down the middle. That's what you want to see. He's already changed up his angle. He's reading 66. He sees, like, usually he's expecting 66 to kick out here, but the way this defender plays it, kind of knifes to the inside. So Gordon makes a quick decision. Now you work off the back of 66, get downhill, and then also chain his footwork together so he doesn't get too wide, because if it's too wide, he's going to run into this defender. Get back vertical to stay tight to it, to still fall forward to pick up around that 4 to 5 yard gain. Just making, like, those plays are perfectly fine. That's what you want. There's other running backs who might make that decision, but all it takes is one, little false step, one extra hesitation, and that turns into, a 1 to 2 yard gain. But Gordon's able to maximize it in that situation. Here was the play I was talking about. Like, this is at the end of the game when, like, they're running out of time. Ewers kind of throws up the rail route really early. Gordon's not expecting it. It ends up being a good pass. Gordon just gets to it too late and just isn't able to track it in and hang on, which is unfortunate. But this is not something I'm super worried about. It's a very tough catch in this spot, but it's not something he struggled with in college. So unless it continues, I wouldn't be worried about a drop. That's like a high level catch for any running back to make, and he showed like another high level catch. So at the end of the day, I'll take that. And then here's the Hail Mary. I usually wouldn't show a Hail Mary, or not the Hail Mary, the lateral play at the end of the game. Usually, there's nothing really to break down. But Gordon actually shows off. I want to show this for a couple of reasons, because it actually could have worked. Like, they actually had a chance to score here. But I also wanted to show just, like, Gordon's capability, because, this is preseason, so you take it all with a grain of salt. Like, he's not playing regular season, but you can still see that he definitely belongs, because he made some other preseason players look silly. Like, he definitely shows he's an NFL player. But he's able to make that first guy miss, and then look at that acceleration to get through past that level of defenders. And now look where he is. If he actually hits Weiss here, like, he tries to throw it, like, the ball ends up bouncing. But if he hits Weiss in stride, Weiss probably gets to the end zone. But the fact that he has to, like, jump on it, like, now he doesn't, because there was no defenders there. They actually could have scored if he hits Weiss standing up. That would have been crazy. But yeah, shout out Ollie. I was a fan of him coming out of the draft. He had a great 2023 season. 2024 wasn't as good, but I actually like his fit in the system for what they need. Like, I don't think he's like the ideal usual Shanahan running back, but to be like your third back, I think that's exactly sort of what Miami is looking for. Well, he still fits into the overall basic system, doesn't maybe have that speed of the other guys, but can kind of make up for it in other ways that I like. And he still showed some big time playmaking ability. Finished down in the end zone on the 1 yard line run. Hopefully, this is something that can continue. I would say he's someone I expect to see in his rookie year probably get a little bit of playing time. Not a ton, but like a little bit here and there. Maybe certain games he gets nothing. Then there are certain games where he'll get maybe 4 or 5 touches. And then if there's like injuries, there will be games where he ends up getting around 10 touches. But overall, I'm a fan of Ollie Gordon. We'll see if this continues. So if you guys make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and